I'm going to open with a poem about my daughter wishing she was again 10 years old. This is a piece called Port Reyes about it off the coast, just north of San Francisco, an outreach into the Pacific Ocean. And this is our adventure together. Port Reyes. We should walk Tamala's trail again, we same three. She, all of 10, your hair exquisitely long. We should stroll just north of San Francisco, away from the barked televised views, cross Cataract Creek, mingle with Jersey cows, dotting the plateau, mooing Jersey cows, chewing their cud as we chew our carrots, sliced carefully that morning as peanut butter chasers. Then a peek over the one edge, a peek at Bodega Bay, peek gingerly since stomachs dropped leerily, sighting magnificent drops into waves strolling silently, our faces roasted by dispassionate wind. This is a poem about a high school crush. I think if you get into certain times of age, at certain points in age, suddenly old memories come back. This is a day in the life of a crush that ends. It's called In Flight for Beth. Perhaps it was the fiery redness of her hair, a tremendous shock shining on a March Sunday afternoon that chased me from the realm of daring. Or perhaps it was seeing her sitting on the concrete stoop by her apartment door, barefoot, sunning, before an afternoon of French conjugations and calculus sets. Safe within a weathered fenced-in plot, large enough for two to travel through at a time, secreting away that she would soon leave this place. Or perhaps it was due to the truth that she never spoke to me, and certainly never thought of me when we passed one another in our school's clustered halls, that I took at her glancing away as a hint at a hidden passion. But so goes the delusional mind when that inconvenient burn and flush about my face challenged the ruddiness of her hair. Perhaps silence chased me from the weird realm of daring, so damn am I to live with the internal fires in 78. No, I had to go and let loose burnings. Make them public. Dash all fears of fear. Let the furnace within bellow out on the radio a song request on the Saturday night song dedication show. There. That seemed a voracious move. Play Spanky's gang of flower power troubadours. Like to get to know you. Spinning wax straight into the night airwaves. Dedicated the night before I saw her last on the concrete stoop, sunning, barefoot, her shock of red gleaming, her name called out by a friend holding a chipped wooden tennis racket, ready to play in avoidance of love. Yes, her name called out, a voice saying, "Hi, Beth," strong enough to whip my feet up into an elegant stumble. Me, oh yes, me in flight for Beth, floating head first into a friend's empty metal refuse can, with only my legs and blue jean rump in view. Affirmation that another ardor need be tossed aside, both body and soul, rolled away to the dump. Once upon a time, it was reported in the city of Roanoke, Virginia, that an emu was on the loose. Now, this is a strange thing for the city of Roanoke to deal with because it's not known for its emus. But this is a true story about an emu on the lam. So here's a quiet calamity. Summer burns out its final furnace, frying Appalachia to an August brown, and we've a mishap with wise ties to claims and hopes we would clam up. Keep secret that there is an emu on the loose, traipsing up and down Roanoke streets, evading the inevitable, now standing in the shade of misplaced Bradford pears. Ingenious camouflage, except for his shaking tail feathers at lunchtime traffic, speeding by for quick bites. He commands the grass where it meets the road, bending round neighborhood hills. While news outlets report someone's friend has been lost, ending no information available. Could this be great bluegrass, an emu on the lawn, upon green lawn, alone and blue? A flightless Australian fowl, newly minted as city myth, prancing by banks and liquor stores, painting the town in magnificent brown until tomorrow's storm, whip and tail, washes away all evidence of plumes. Recently, I was preparing a class on Ralph Waldo Emerson when I found a note that had been sitting in an anthology marking the Emerson section from a professor that was written in 1987. And the note read, "By the way, it's so long since we introduced ourselves, I'm sorry to say I've forgotten your name. Refresh my memory." And I took this little note to be representative of my entire experience as a graduate student in New York City. So I called this Me Endeared Anonymous. I must have been just another stooge in the city, stumbling about Washington Square Park on my way to a diner on the Avenue of Americas, holding on to 2 quarters for the purchase of a USA Today and Talmudic scholar-like box score studies. The dispossessed sunning in the park were rosy salesmen, speaking fast and moving quickly. They stepped in close to whisper, "Meth, meth, meth." I feared my breath might be bad. Meth, meth, meth. I never bought. I never could figure out what they were selling, but they would be back. Naivete saved me. I celebrated it with a cheeseburger. I read Chaucer by fluorescent light in the diner, booth confined quarters, with burger in plastic basket, with a wax paper lining, and the best of fake cheese one could find on the Avenue of Americas. The Miller's Tail Red Spicy, a Carly Simon song sweetened the room. I left, gut extended, gonads confused, ears refined. Old Greece still runs through my veins. To myself, after 39 years, mine was an irrelevant name. Well, who should be surprised? I carried myself with a look of, "Don't bother me. I've got poems and an orange in my backpack." Or did the look say, "Don't bother me. I've got nothing to take"? I once saw a knit-capped fellow with a guitar, strapped to his back, pounding on the door of a bar on Bleecker. No one let him in, so he pounded some more. We stood together as street stooges for more than a quarter of an hour, both on this old street with no invitation into any of the thick doors. I watched to see if he could make a name for himself, then stooged on my way through the village. I felt weaker on Bleecker, eyeing Folk City. I should have sliced that orange into quarters. This old message I found requested something to be sent to Mercer Street. I learned that Mercer Street could never be mistaken for Mercy Street. But I did eat burgers on the Avenue of Americas, red Chaucers, and sang along as Simon sang. I looked at the girls who waltzed in, never once glancing at me in my monk's booth, wishing to be a Chanticleer come to call.